Okay, I apologize in advance. This is probably the single worst one. This is actually the one I wanted to get to.
Part 4 of what women wish their male partners knew about how female desire works. And it's all about...
Okay, let me tell you this right now. If my wife had the time
already starts with that.
to make a video making tea, and trust me, everything in that background and all this other shit is all staged. People say, oh, it's AI. I don't think it's AI. Not this one. But this was also on D Christian Life. If your woman has time to make videos like this and talk shit about you and make tea at the same time, it is time to talk to James Sexton. That's all I got.
Initiation. So asking your female partner out of the blue if she wants to be intimate will typically be met by resistance. Not because she doesn't want to, but because for her, it feels like she's expected to go from 0 to 100 immediately.
Which she didn't have any problem doing when she was fucking the hot guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun on spring break. Or any of the guys that she met before you who did not have to jump through any of the hoops. Now, when a woman makes rules for you, you are a beta. Women make rules for beta males. They break rules for alpha males. Again, another point in the book. All right. Okay, I'm going to let her finish.
It's jarring. It can feel like pressure. And honestly, it skips over all the conditions that her body actually needs to want to be intimate in the first place. Because
here's what her body needs for her to want to be intimate in the first place. 20-inch guns, a V-taper, serrats, as I've said on many occasions, six-pack abs. And even if you don't have six-pack abs, maybe you got that swimmer's body and you got a four-pack abs like Rollo Tomasi. But that'll do too. You got to have the sex lines though. What is it? What is that? What they call them? Yeah, fuck me lines. You got fuck me lines. That's pretty good there too. Like the thing is what gets me is like, are there that many Christian men who are like going, baby, it's time for us to get after it, right? Like it's
procreation.
Could I have a bit of sex, please?
Could I have a crumb?
What the? Might have a crumb. More, please. No, that's not how fucking. Yeah, you know who she doesn't say no to? Justin Baller. Yeah, that's who. It's not about like. So this is what gets me. She's gonna bring up a point that I keep hearing over and over again. I've never heard it in a Christian context. I have heard this come out of the mouth of Coral Osborne, though.
As for 85% of women, desire is responsive.
No, those 85% of women didn't want to get with you in the first place. 85% of women, their sex is responsive. No, it wasn't responsive when they were 22 and they were in college and they were on their journey of self-discovery. Right? Trust me, all of that responsive bullshit is reserved for one kind of guy, the 20% guy. Because what happens is this. Have you ever heard Kyle, have you ever heard the psychological model concept, Dr. Sigmund Freud?
Yes.
It's the id, ego, and the superego. Okay. The id is I want to fuck. I want stuff. It's the hedonist. It's the little child that's inside of you. I want candy. I want sex. I want this. I want it now. Let's go. It's the hedonistic part of like it's the primal carnal side of everything. Then there's the ego, and the ego is there. It's the adult in the room. So, well, remember, we can't have too much sweets because we'll get fat, and we've got to make sure that we get to the gym, and it's the responsible adult in the room, and the superego is it's like the astral projection shit. Okay, well, it's the greater than, right? It's the third person. It's seeing it in the third person. But the two that I want to talk about right now is the ego and the id, because that's really where this comes down to. What happens is when women get to the 29, 30, 31-year-old demographic, the id and the ego fight. Okay, so right up, we always talk about how women aren't accountable, and women don't avoid accountability. You know what they avoid? Consequences. That's what they avoid. Accountability. Yeah, I really need to be accountable. I think I should be accountable. Blah, blah, blah. They'll agree with you till they're blue in the face. What they try to avoid is consequences, because that's what the id tries to do. It wants pleasure without consequences. Is there a better definition of hedonism? Pleasure without consequences. Put on the condom or take the pill, and you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Pleasure without consequences. sugar without the calories, right? It's a Twinkie with no fucking calories. I need diet soda, right? That's no consequence of guilt, right? So what happens is when that woman gets to the point where she's 30 years old and she has to have that conflict between her id and her ego. Okay. So what I don't know that I've ever put it this way or ever really like explained it in these terms, at least not in any detail anyways. But there's the id and then there's the ego. And then when a woman gets to be about 30 years old and she says, okay, the ego says, well, id, we have to find a guy who's going to be with us for the long haul. We need a guy who's dependable. We need guys who, we still want to be good looking. And I understand we still want to fuck the hot guy in the foam cannon party, but we got to find a guy with benefits. We got to find a guy who's got his shit together, who's going to make partner in the law firm, who's going to have done his residency. He's going to be a surgeon. We need to think about our babies. We need to think about, future plans and mom wants grandchildren and all this other shit, right? So we got to find something and we got to make a compromise. So there's this conflict between the id who wants to fuck the hot guy in the foam cannon party from back when she was 21, 22, and she was a co-ed in college and everything. And she had such a crazy time, right? And had her fun, right? The id still wants to have fun. The id wants the guy with the fuck me lines. The id wants the guy who's the helicopter pilot, the surfer. She still wants to fuck the id wants to fuck that guy. But the ego says, those guys don't commit. Those guys aren't ready for the long haul. They're too irresponsible. We need a guy. We need a good Christian man, a godly man of God. We need a guy who reads his Bible every day and prays with the family 7 minutes, right? We need that guy, but that guy's not sexy hot guy in the foam cannon party. That guy's not sexy surfer dude. That guy's not Justin Waller. That guy's not forthcoming, and we can't lock that guy down. So we've got to make some compromise here. So what do you say? And so there's that conflict. And so after a while, assuming things go according to the ego's plan, they find the guy who's still ignorant enough at that particular time of his life, right around 30, 32 years old. They get married, and she decides on the guy who's Mr. Good Enough, the guy who's not what the id really wanted to get with, because he's not fun, he's not exciting, he's not Jake Cope playing in a fucking rock band, he doesn't have a Harley. He doesn't fly helicopters. He's not Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian, that's what women's id wants. Justin Waller, that's what women's id wants. The ego says, well, we got to find a good baby daddy. He's got to be dependable. He's got to read to the kids. He's got to go to soccer practice. He's got to do homework with them, blah, 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 right? And in time, nothing's sexier. Well, the thing is like the way that ego sells the id on that guy is that, well, maybe there's something we can find sexy about him later. And it's the ego that says, well, maybe if he's good at doing these things and he jumps through all these hoops, then will he be okay? If we make more rules for him, id, will then he be okay? If he continuously passes all of our tests all the fucking time, and he has good benefits, and he's still a 6, but he's really a 6.5, and he has the potential to be a 7, and we're just a 6, right? You convince yourself that he's worthwhile. Can then we marry him and lock this guy down because he's ready to go, because it's like manna from heaven, just even touching his arm. He's already primed and ready to go, and he's got good prospects, and he's funny, he likes Disneyland and rainbows and everything, wants kids in the future and likes puppy dogs, right? Can we go with this guy? Well, the way that the ego negotiates with the id for women is, it says, well, he's not as exciting, but at least he's dependable. Guess what? I guess I have to convince myself that my sexual response is no longer about genuine desire. It's about negotiated response. It's about responsive sexuality, a responsive desire. No, it's fucking not, because when you were in your 20s, you didn't even know what the fucking term responsive desire was. That wasn't even in your fucking vocabulary, redhead T-girl. But what was hot guy in the foam cannon party, over, ride me to fucking glory over the banister at the hotel room. That's what was in your vocabulary at that
Which means she might not know if she's a yes until after she feels safe, connected, relaxed, warmed up.
All of those criteria that she just talked about, every last single one of those is anti-seductive. Trust me, the guy that got her fucking juices flowing did none of that. Absolutely none. In fact, the fact that he didn't do those things is exactly why she got hot for him. She was drunk, he was cute, and one thing led to another. He was in the foam cannon party in Cancun on spring break. He was the surfer guy who came out of the surf. He's Jason Momoa. his Point Break. He's a dude who was in Point Break.
Keanu
Reeves was in Reeves,
yeah.
And then I forget who the other dudes are. Yeah, he was Keanu Reeves in Point Break, right? None of that. Security, familiarity. No. There's a reason why 50 Shades of Grey outsold any fucking book in outsold the fucking Bible when it came out, right? Because none of those factors were in that book. None whatsoever. Familiarity, no. Danger, excitement, uncertainty, urgency, anxiety, competition, dread. You name all the horrible dark triad personality trait attributes you can come up with. All of those are in that book. And you know what? 65 million units in the first year. And by the way, it was from March. I don't even know whole year. It was from March all the way to the following year. It was on a self-published book. Word of mouth, no fucking advertising. Word of mouth between good Christian women too. And you know what? When the movie came out the next year, it probably still is the most downloaded video that YouTube has ever had. Not because of advertising. It wasn't on a billboard on the freeway. It wasn't on the commercial on the TV. It was, Gladys, have you heard of this book, 50 Shades of Grey? Doris, what are you talking about? Ooh, my stars and heavenly days. No, it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Stop it. Stop it with this responsive desire bullshit because you're giving these guys false hope. Stop it. Tell them. Tren. Tell them. Start living with 405. Start benching 405. That one girl in the beginning, she had it right. All of them. Holy mother of God. What are you doing to these poor Christian men?
It's not withholding from you. She just genuinely needs some additional support for her body before
because it's not turned on. You're not turned on.
she's open to saying yes. So instead of
saying yes, the very fact that you would have to say yes is negotiating desire. Got it? And what do we know? Okay, children, class, this is remedial Red Pill 101. What happens when we negotiate desire? What does negotiated desire lead to? Come on, somebody in the chat. I'm not going to finish it up. Come on. What does negotiated desire? You get a free book if you can give me this one. Trenbolone sandwich. No, good try. Come on. What does negotiated desire always lead to? Not grape charts. God damn it. Come on, people. You're failing me. I'm going to say it. Here it goes. Going once. Going starfish sex. No, well, close. What does negotiated desire always lead to? Obligated compliance. That's what it leads to. That leads to well, the Bible says I'm supposed to spread my legs even duty sex, right? Yeah, exactly. Resentment. Good. Okay. Keep them coming. Yes. No. Divorce. Obligated compliance. Obligated compliance is the kiss of fucking God. I would divorce. I would just. Is that how it works? Okay, I'm done. I have to buy you lingerie? I'm done. I have to. You're not getting it yourself. You're not meeting me at the door with martini and a smile. That's all. Seduction is beer and show up naked. Right? Why is the guy the one that's initiating? Why is it so so endemic? Why is it so we're so oblivious to the fact that she's making this video about how guys are initiating sex? Do you not want to fuck your husband? I would love to ask this chick, how do you initiate sex with your husband? Do you go up, hey, want to fuck? Of course, that means something different when the girl does that, right? Hey, I was thinking about, you working me up to having sex because It doesn't work out. It doesn't work. Genuine desire, actually, you know, or like physical arousal, like me actually being hot for you. Well, I know we're supposed to have sex. So do you think you could initiate with me? So, or start like, I don't know, nibbling on my ear or some shit like that so that we can actually get down to it. Like it's this series of lock picking. And I wrote about this on Twitter not too long ago. When I look at shit like this, let's see, let's let her
trying to change her or taking it personally, work with her to understand what she might need to be more open.
No, here's what you do. You leave. You exit the marriage. Sorry, we're Christians. We don't divorce. You trust me, Christians definitely divorce. Leave. Life is too fucking short to be involved with a woman who doesn't want to fuck you. And as I was saying before, is like what this amounts to is guys trying to be scientists, guys being locksmiths, right? They're trying to pick her locks. How do I do the combination of getting her panties off? How do I do, like, I got to fit these lock picks into the fucking lock here. And every time hey, got it. All right, I got it. Then the next time, the lock's changed. The lock's completely different, right? And in fact, now not only is the lock's changed, there's an iron gate in front of you gotta figure out how do I get around the gate, and then I got, and that it's like, so that, and I'm only bringing this up because there's so many of these fucking videos. There's so many of them.